Hello everyone, welcome back to UPSC Startup, your one-stop destination for smart and effective UPSC preparation. Today we are continuing with the lecture 3 of Polity, where we will dive deeper into the core concepts that will not only help you strengthen your foundation for both prelims and also mains. So let's get started. Today we are going to discuss about the framing of constitution. Well, before that we have to learn some of the basics of right-wing perspective and left-wing perspective. Well, the right wing of the people, they maintain the status quo. That means they believe in preserving the culture and the tradition of the society. For example, the BJP. Whereas the left-wing approach is the radical approach of restructuring of the system. That means they want to change the system. Well, Dr. Shyam Prasad Mukherjee, who built the Jan Sangh Party, and now the successor of Jan Sangh Party is BJP. Well, the first session of Constituent Assembly was held and was boycotted by the Muslim League because the Muslim League wanted a separate constitution assembly for the Pakistan. So negotiated started with the Muslim League and also it continued till mid-January 1947. But unfortunately, nothing worked out. So making of the constitution for India was going on, and on 26 November 1949 we adopted the Constitution of India, whereas on 26 January 1950 we enforced the Constitution of India. Why there is a difference in the dates? Because on 26 January 1930, we had the Purna Swaraj movement in the Lahore session by Congress. Hence, to commemorate the Purna Swaraj, we chose the date of 26 January. Well, on 26 November 1949, when we adopted the Constitution of India, we had only few laws which were enacted. And after the enforcement on 26 Jan 1950, we implemented all the laws. Well, why do we celebrate 26 November as Constitution Day and 26 January as Republic Day? Because on this day, Dr. Rajendra Prasad had taken the oath as the President of India. Hence, Republic means the head of the state is being elected. So, we celebrate 26 January as the Republic Day of India. Well, the elections to elect the members of Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946. The members of the Constituent Assembly were elected by the members of the provincial assemblies of India. So the first session of the Constituent Assembly was held on 9 December 1946 and it was presided by Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, who was the temporary presiding officer. And remember, Muslim League boycotted the session and demanded for the separate Constituent Assembly for Pakistan. So on 11 December 1946, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the President of the Constituent Assembly. And Sir B.N. Rao, remember, Sir B.M. Rao was the legal or the constitutional advisor to the Constituent Assembly. So on 13 December 1946, Pandit Nehru presented the objective resolution. So objective resolution is now known as preamble. And the Constituent Assembly had constituted 22 committees to give inputs on various aspects, from which we had the drafting committee, which was headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and other members were Alladi Krishna Swamy Iyer, K.M. Munshi, Muhammad Sadudullah, N. Gopalaswamy, D.L. Mittar, who was replaced by N. Madhav Rao because of his illness, and D.P. Khaitan, who was replaced by T.T. Krishnamachari because he died. So, the Constitution of India was based on the collective opinion, that is the consensus. So, on 26 November 1949, we finally adopted the Constitution of India by the Assembly. So from that day, some of the provisions came into force, not entirely the Constitution. So what are those articles which came into force? That is Article 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 324, 366, 367, 379, 380, 388, 391, 392 and 93 and 94. Well, it's not like we ambiguously chose to enforce all of these laws. No. In Article 394, it was mentioned that all the articles which I recited now will come into force from the day of 26 November 1946, and the rest of the provisions will came into force on 26 January 1950. So on that day, the Constituent Assembly ceased to exist and transformed itself into a provisional parliament of India until the new parliament was constituted in 1952. Well, 26 November, which is commemorated as the Constitution Day, the objective of commemorating this day is to imbibe the idea and spirit of the Constitution inside the citizens of India. So what is the spirit of Constitution? That is freedom, equality, etc. So at its commencement, the Constitution had only 395 articles, 22 parts and 8 schedules, whereas now we have 485 articles approximately and 25 parts and 12 schedules. So what parts? So these are parts 1, 2, 3, 4, 4A, 5 and likewise. And in the parts we have the articles like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. But from 5 onwards we have the subdivisions, that is the chapters, which is named as Executive, Parliament, Chapter 2, Chapter 3 as President, and the articles which is under those. So we know that articles can be written in the numerical form and like this also. So now we will learn how to pronounce. Like see, this is 19. This is 19 clause 1. This is 19 clause 1, subclause A. So all of these articles are the part of 19. Whereas if I talk about 31A, that is the capital A, this denotes that 31 has no relations with 31A. That means this is a new article, a separate article. Fine. So now we'll talk about the schedules. Schedules is to maintain the coherency of the document of some important terms that are mentioned in the schedules with the explanations. Like for example, if I write the state list, it has lots of terms inside it that will actually delete the coherency of the constitution. That's why we have schedules that actually explains the terms which is important in the document. So now we are going to discuss about the kinds of majority under the Constitution of India. So firstly we have the simple majority. What is simple majority? It is the votes which are more than 50% of the members present and voting. Okay, for example, we have Lok Sabha, right, and it has 543 seats. But some of the members are busy or are in jail or etc. Whatever the reason may be. So whoever are present and are voting, their votes will be casted. And if it is more than 50%, then it is known as simple majority. So let's take an example. So 400 members are present out of 543 and 40 have abstained. So now present and voting would be 400 minus 40, that is 360. So majority, the simple majority is calculated as 360 divided by 2 plus 1, that is 181. Now you may ask, what is abstain? So abstain is nothing but those members who are present in the house but they are not taking part in the voting system. Okay, so note, wherever the constitution is silent on the type of majority required, it is assumed that we require the simple majority. That means whichever majority is not mentioned particularly, then we will use the simple majority. Now let's talk about absolute majority. So absolute majority is it is more than 50% of the total membership of or the strength of the house. That is also known as majority of the whole house. That is Lok Sabha. That is 553 divided by 2 plus 1. So it is fixed that the absolute majority has to be 272. Talking about some of the examples, like Delhi Legislative Assembly has 70 by 2 plus 1, that is 36. This is the absolute majority. Same goes with UP Legislative Assembly, that is 403 by 2 plus 1, that is 202 plus 5, which is approximately 203. So all of these are fixed. So not less than, like if the votes are casted 271, then it is not the absolute majority. It has to be more than 272. Okay.